Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today I will talk about tenses and the usage of the tenses particularly. Firstly, there are three main verb tenses in English, that is the present, the past and the future. Now these three tenses have four aspects, and these four aspects are the simple aspect, which is also called the indefinite aspect, like present indefinite, past indefinite and future indefinite. That has a continuous or progressive aspect, the perfect aspect, as well as the perfect progressive or the perfect continuous aspect. So there are 12 major tenses that the English learners must know. And the other thing that's important in tenses is that there are only two ways of forming a tense from the verb, that is the past and the present, like we drive and we drove, the present and the past. When you have to form the other verb tenses, like in future you have, or in perfect, you have to add a form of have, be or will in front of the verb, and these helping verbs are also called auxiliary verbs. What is a tense? Tense demonstrates the time of an action, that indicates the time when a particular action or event has happened. While giving a review of these tenses, my focus would be more upon the usage of the tenses. I won't be talking much on about the rules and the grammatical rules that are there, or the kind of rules that are there in each and every tense. Rather, I would more specifically talk about the usage of the tenses, or the kinds of actions that take place in different tenses, or what kind of tense is used to indicate what kind of action. The actions are also called verbs, and verbs change according to tenses. I already talked about the types of tenses. Simply, there is a simple tense. This is called the indefinite tense. And in all types, in present and past and future, this aspect, this indefinite or the simple aspect, that is used to express facts and situations that existed in the past, that exist in the present, or that will exist in the future. Like I drive home every day, the simple present, the simple present indefinite. In past indefinite, it will be I drove home yesterday, and in future indefinite, it will be I'll drive home later. In continuous aspect, that is usually we use the continuous tenses to talk about the unfinished events, to talk about the events that are ongoing or in a continuous condition at particular time period. If this is the present continuous, so it will be the kind of action that is taking place at the time of speaking, at the moment of speaking. And this is also used to refer to the actions that were in the continuous stage in the past, like I was driving when you called. And this also refers to the action that will be taking place in the future, that will be ongoing in the future. I will be driving when you call. And we use the perfect tenses to refer to the actions, to refer to the events that happen before another event. So मोस्टली परफेक्ट टेंसेस में दो इवेंट्स को ज्वाइन करके भी बात की जाती है, एंड जो एडवर्ब्स उसमें यूज होते हैं दे आर नेवर, येट, ऑलरेडी, like these are the examples of present perfect, past perfect and future perfect. And then there is the perfect continuous tense, and the perfect continuous tenses, they express duration, the time period, or how long something has happened. So these tenses usually include the adverbs for or since to indicate the duration of the action. There is the present perfect continuous, I've been driving since morning. Past perfect continuous, I'd been driving for 3 hours before I stopped to get gas. And there is the future perfect continuous, I'll have been driving for 5 hours by the time I arrive. Now we would start with the present indefinite tense first. Now, what kind of actions this present indefinite tense refer to? most of the time that refers to or that represents the actions which are regular, which are habitual, true. And if we talk about the grammatical rules, then we use the first form of the verb in this tense, and in case of the third person singular number, s or es is added with the verb. Generally, we use this tense in order to indicate the actions which happen regularly, which are a routine matter, every day, daily, normally, frequently, and if they happen once a year or every year or in a week or all the time. So this is a routine matter. No matter this happens once in a year, but this is a routine matter. If you would say that I spend my summer vacations in Murray, so this is something which happens only once a year, but this is something which is a regular routine matter. This is what you do. And this is also used to refer to the states, to the conditions, to your likes and dislikes, the things that are constant, that don't usually change. So for example, if you say I write articles on different topics, so this is your routine matter, this is what you do. And if you prefer coffee to tea, this is what you like, and this is what you do. This is also a routine matter. This do not usually change. And if you say he goes to the library every day, this is his routine matter, this is what he do every day. This is his. And if you say I do not like coral, this is the kind of a person that you are. If you say I live in Pakistan, this is your state, this is your condition. And if you like or do not like something, that is about your liking or disliking, which also don't usually change. So summing up, present indefinite tense refers to the actions which are regular, which is a routine matter. Sometimes they are habitual, and they are things that regularly happen. Moving towards present continuous tense, that is used to indicate the actions, to talk about the things that are happening around now but are temporary. That refers to those actions that happen at the time of that are happening at the time of speaking, but they are temporary, means they would stop soon. What are you doing these days? I'm working a lot. So this is a thing that is happening at that time, but that would stop soon. If you refer to something, you say they are playing cricket, so it means that this is an ongoing action at that time, that they are playing cricket, but that would stop soon. But if you say they play cricket, so it means that you refer to an action that is a routine matter, that this is what they do, that they play cricket. So that would be, you would use present indefinite for that. But if you say they are playing cricket, this is the present continuous. You use present continuous because you wanted to refer to an action that is taking place at the time of speaking, but that would stop soon. As well as this is also used to describe the situations or the trends which are happening at that time, but they are also temporary. They may stop, they may stop. I said they may. वो stop हो सकते हैं. Like nowadays more and more people are shopping on the internet. अगर आपने ये कहा है तो present continuous यूज किया तो इसका मतलब है कि this is what the people are doing at the moment of speaking. लेकिन ज़रूरी नहीं कि वो आगे continue रहे. This may be the temporary action. And अगर आप कहते हो कि nowadays more and more people do shopping on internet, so this is the routine matter. This is what the people are doing these days. They do. This is their state. And this is also used to refer to the habitual actions which are usually used for. This is usually used to refer to the negative habitual actions. He's always cleaning his car. अगर आप कहते हो कि he's always talking, या आप कहते हो कि he's always studying, he's always writing. So that refers to something which is usually negative but habitual. Okay, interestingly, the present continuous tense is also used to discuss future events. Like if you say, I'm having dinner with him at 7 o'clock, or she's flying to London tomorrow, or I'm planning a party next week, or they are visiting the Niagara Falls next year or in 3 weeks or something. तो यहाँ पे present continuous tense हम future events को के लिए भी यूज करते हैं कि जब हमें कोई future की किसी event की बात करनी हो तो भी हम present continuous यूज कर सकते हैं. Moving towards the perfect tense, present perfect. So the present perfect tense indicates an action that happened at an unspecified time. Unspecified time इसलिए है क्योंकि इसमें हमें कोई specific time नहीं दिया हुआ होता, जैसे usually हमें past simple में दिया हुआ होता है past indefinite में, लेकिन perfect tense में हमारे पास specified time नहीं होता, unspecified होता है. The exact time is not given. जैसे specific time expression होते हैं yesterday, 1 year ago, last week, when I was a child, ये सारे specific time expression हम past indefinite tense के साथ यूज करते हैं क्योंकि उसमें टाइम स्पेसिफाइड होता है, जबकि प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट में स्पेसिफाइड टाइम नहीं होता, इसलिए हम स्पेसिफिक टाइम एक्सप्रेशन नहीं यूज करते, बल्कि हम अनस्पेसिफिक एक्सप्रेशंस यूज करते हैं, सच एज ever, never, once, many times, several times, before, so far, already, yet, etc. For example, I've seen that movie 20 times. No specific time expression there. I think I've met him once before. No specific time expression there. But this refers to things that happened, that had already been done. Have you read the book yet? No, I haven't read the book yet. I've already I've already read the book, and so on and so forth. Next, there is present perfect continuous tense. And where do we use present perfect continuous tense? Where we used to indicate an action that started in the past and has continued up until now. एक ऐसा एक्शन कि जो पास्ट में स्टार्ट हुआ था लेकिन वो अभी तक चल रहा है, उसका ड्यूरेशन हम दे देते हैं सिंस और फॉर यूज करके, फॉर 2 weeks since Tuesday. And for example, they have been talking for the last hour. हमने ड्यूरेशन दे दिया एक ऐसे काम के लिए कि जो स्टार्ट हुआ था पास्ट में लेकिन अभी तक खत्म नहीं हुआ. शी हैज़ बीन वर्किंग एट दैट कंपनी फॉर 3 years. अच्छा, अगर यहीं पे हम फिनिश्ड इवेंट की बात करते हैं, जैसे प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट में हम फिनिश्ड इवेंट की बात करते हैं, स्पेसिफिक टाइम नहीं होता लेकिन एक काम ऐसा होता है जो पास्ट में कंप्लीट हो गया था, तो हम कहेंगे शी हैज़ वर्कड इन दैट कंपनी for 3 years. She has worked in that company for 3 years. तो उससे हमें पता चलेगा कि अच्छा वो काम अभी वो नहीं कर रही वहाँ पे, वो कर चुकी है. लेकिन जब हम कहते हैं she has been working at that company for 3 years, it means कि ये अभी चल रहा है. Okay, next have a look at these examples. These all examples indicate the actions that have started in the past and they are continued, they are ongoing at the moment of speaking. And here the mention in the time or the duration is also being mentioned along with the stating of the events. Okay, we may also use the present perfect continuous without a duration. जरूरी नहीं है कि हम उसमें हमेशा साथ ड्यूरेशन भी जाएगा, जैसे फॉर 2 weeks है और सिंस मंडे है. समटाइम्स हम इसे मोर जनरल एक्सप्रेशंस के साथ भी यूज कर सकते हैं, जैसे लेटली, रिसेंटली. For example, recently I have been feeling really tired, or have you been exercising lately, or sometimes no general expression. Lisa has not been practicing her English, so ज़रूरी नहीं है कि all the time you need to have some expression with for and since. आप इसके अलावा भी किसी भी एक्शन को बताने के लिए ये टेंस यूज कर सकते हो. The next we will start with the past. And in the past tense, we will start with the past indefinite tense. And we use the past indefinite tense. This is also called past simple. We use that to talk about actions and states that we see are completed in the past. ऐसी एक्शंस और स्टेट्स तो जो पास्ट में हुई थी और उसके लिए हम एक स्पेसिफिक टाइम जो है एक्सप्रेशन भी यूज करते हैं. वो एक्सप्रेशन ये हैं जी, हम इसके लिए एक्सप्रेशन यूज कर सकते हैं लाइक yesterday, 3 weeks ago, a week ago, last year, in 2002, for a long time, in the past, in the last century, and etc etc. Like she came back last Friday. इसमें हम second form of the verb use करते हैं. I saw her in the street. They didn't agree to the deal. जब हम didn't लगा देते हैं तो आगे हमारा first form ही आएगा. And we can also use that to talk about a period of time, जिसमें हम स्टेट कर सकते हैं कि कितने टाइम के लिए वो हुआ था काम. She lived in Tokyo for 7 years, and when I was living in New York, I went to all the art exhibitions I could. You could also combine past continuous and past indefinite together, and and that is most of the time they both are combined together to refer to the events कि कोई ऐसा event के जो continued state में है और दूसरा जो हो चुका है, इन दोनों को आपस में merge करने के लिए हम ये दोनों tenses भी use करते हैं. Okay, next, past continuous. Past continuous is used to indicate an action that was taking place in the past when a shorter action happened. So mostly जब हम past continuous का कोई भी action लिखते हैं तो वो जब दो actions को हमने इकट्ठे लिखना होता है कि definitely जब आप बताते हो कि past में क्या हो रहा था तो उसके साथ हम usually बता देते हैं ना कि जब भी कुछ और भी हुआ. तो जब इन दो एक्शंस को हम आपस में कंबाइन करके लिखते हैं तो वी यूज past continuous for the shorter action. For example, I was camping. This is what was going on at that time when I got stung by a bee. When another thing happened. And for that another thing, we use the past simple. When I visited him in the hospital, he was snoring loudly. This is what he was doing. This is what was going on at the time when this thing happened. While he was reading the newspaper, he fell asleep. So this is what he was doing at that time when this thing happened. Similarly, while I was talking to him, his eyes looked somewhere else. This is what he was doing, and then this thing happened. So past continuous tense and the simple past tense are used together. As well as we could also use two past continuous tenses to indicate two actions which were ongoing at the time of speaking. Like you would say, while my brother was laughing, my sister was crying, and my father was drinking while my mother was eating. And this is also used to indicate an action that was happening and that has not yet finished. That is not finished at a particular time or throughout a period of time in the past. We do not state when the action started or ended. Like, grandma was knitting a sock at 11 o'clock last night, or they were hunting wild boars all evening. This also refers to the actions to show the things that we were in the middle of an action, like I was collecting old newspaper when something has happened, the police sirens were wailing, or if somebody would ask you, okay, what were you doing at that time? I was reading Shakespeare at that time, or I was doing my studies, or I was cooking the meal. So this is also used to refer to the things that we were in the middle of an action when that thing happened. So this is not important that the other thing should also be stated. You could only write these things that you were in the middle of some action. Next, there is the past perfect continuous tense.